Alright guys, we're down at the EA Christmas Showcase now, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Adrien, who is the producer on Mass Effect 2. Thanks for joining us, Adrien.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So Adrien's going to tell us a little bit about Mass Effect 2. I've just played the opening first 10 minutes. What can people expect when they get into the game?
I think they'll be blown away by the first 10 minutes. The first part of the game really sets the tone. It hits you hard, and it just rolls after that. I think the great thing about making a sequel is that you've already established the characters in the first part, and so you know who Commander Shepard is. He's a Spectre. He's out to stop all kinds of nefarious things throughout the galaxy, and this game just starts off with a wallop. I like to think of it, Mass Effect 2, as kind of like the deeper, darker chapter of the Mass Effect trilogy, and you can kind of look at some of the great science fiction films that inspired us. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Empire Strikes Back. It just starts off really fast and hard. It just doesn't really let go, and then at the end of it, you're just like left kind of breathless.
So this is your Empire Strikes Back then? This is your dark chapter?
That is right. You might actually find out who Shepard's father is at the end of the game.
Get his hand cut off or something?
Maybe not. It's going to be pretty dramatic, I think. And of course, the beginning starts off fantastic and absolutely moving. And I actually think the beginning is actually a lot closer to what you see in Star Trek II. But all I can say is that by the end of the Mass Effect 2, it's completely amazing, and it'll be just as powerful and moving as The Empire Strikes Back.
So I know you don't want to give away too many spoilers with such a story-driven game, but can we expect the universe to be changed fundamentally again throughout the course of Mass Effect 2?
Yes. I mean, the great thing about Mass Effect 2 is it continues on with the established worlds that we've had in the first one and the storyline. And of course you can import your character from the first one, which is great. So if you let certain people die, save certain people, if you save this council, all those choices will make a very unique playing experience in the sequel, which means that you and I will have very different games, and which is great because Mass Effect is tailored to your own individual experience. In 2, you actually explore some of the worlds that we only alluded to in the first one. So, for example, you'll see the Asari homeworld. You'll see a few other planets that I don't want to spoil, but it'll give you a lot of insight into some of the characters that you met in the first one, and obviously some of the new characters you meet in the second one as well.
Sure. And so can we talk about specifics at the beginning of the game? Do you want to keep it spoiler-free at this stage?
Well, something really bad happens to Shepard, I think, right off the beginning. And there's a new threat in the galaxy called the Collectors. And what happens is that they ambush Shepard and they destroy the Normandy. And Shepard, in the process of saving his crew, gets blasted out into space and he dies. And it's an amazing moment in the game. I think for people who've played through the game and gone through all that they have in the first game, to see your character die. What happens is we introduce Cerberus and the Elusive Man. And Cerberus is a pro-human organization, and they were actually always in the background in Mass Effect 1, so we always had plans for them. And in the sequel, they actually play a much larger role. And what happens is they rebuild Shepard, and there's a rebirth sequence, and Shepard comes back alive, but now he works for this group. And they've tasked him with finding out who these collectors are and why they've been abducting human beings from throughout the galaxy and taking them, and Shepard must go deep into the enemy territory to stop these collectors.
And can we talk, just going back to the character creation bit there, it seems even more powerful than it was before. You can type in codes and kind of just create people at random. It's really powerful.
Yeah, you notice that. So Mass Effect 2 does two different things. We're actually anticipating opening up the audience to a wider range of gamers who might not have actually tried role-playing games or even played Mass Effect 1. So we've actually improved the combat a lot. So we're going to bring in a lot of shooter fans. At the same time, we're going to have a lot of fans of the first one. So the really neat thing is during the character creation process is you can import your character. They'll look exactly the way you did as you left them in the first game. But the game also offers you the opportunity to kind of tweak your look. So if you decide, you know what, I'm tired of looking at the blonde hair, I want to be a brunette, or I want to add in some really cool scars, or you know what, I want to change my look completely for the character, you can. Because during that process, Cerberus is rebuilding your face.
It's Project Lazarus, right?
That's correct. Right. Yeah, it's a really incredible sequence. really moving as well. The neat thing is though, you can also change classes. So if you always want to try being an adept, and you played it through the first game as a soldier, the game at that point actually allows you to switch choices. So it's really great. Because after you put 60 hours into it, sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I actually played it, chosen differently. And so at the beginning of Mass Effect 2, it actually allows you those choices.
And so you'll kind of just tell us a little bit about your feelings as well. Obviously, it's a busy Q1 next year. There's seems like hundreds of AAA releases. Does that kind of daunt you a little bit?
No, I think the game is solid. It's going to be word of mouth is going to be great on it. But I think the most important part is when people get to play it for themselves. No matter how much we talk about the improvements in combat and the action and the shooting elements of it, once you get your hands on it and play for yourself, you just feel it's great.
Those are big words, Adrien. I look forward to playing the game and seeing if it lives up to it. I'm sure it will, but thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And people can expect Mass Effect 2 in stores?
Late 2010. Late January 2010.
Thought it'd been pushed back then. Thanks very much, Adrien.
Thank you.